Yo, what's going on, everybody? It is 3 p.m. here in Chicago, Illinois. It's time for another live stream. Today is Saturday, May 22nd, 2021, and it is a beautiful day here. We've got some fans going on in the house. We got some air conditioning going on in the house, so there's going to be a little bit of background noise, but it is a warm day. They're calling it a preview of summer. A little bit humidity starting to rise. Temperature is definitely up. It is pleasant. It is otherwise quiet, though, in the house because my wife's got the girls outside. They're out playing at the park this afternoon. I elected to stay back because I've been pretty tired. I'm ready to start the taper for this 50K, but I do have a marathon that I got to run first tomorrow. It's going to be an easy one, though. We'll talk about it. I got my afternoon coffee, so I'm definitely ready. The afternoon coffee seems much more indulgent on these weekend live streams when we're doing it at 3 p.m., but still very nice. I appreciate it. I was thinking I would maybe do a beer today, but I'm definitely feeling the need for some coffee. How's everybody doing on the audio only version? Hopefully you guys are doing well, having a good run out there today. Hopefully the weather is nice and not too humid for you guys. And then everyone watches on YouTube after the fact. Hopefully you're relaxing, having a nice evening on a Saturday night or whenever you're watching this. All right, let's see who's here today. Looks like I see a lot of people that I saw yesterday watching the Trials of Mile City Smeg, the weird mile that they had on out there with Gladwell versus Chavez. It was a nice little reunion. Good to see everyone there. All right, we've got Mark Chancoco says it's too hot to do anything outside today. And we got Chris Yao's here. And let's see, you guys got here early, though. You guys were here like 2 hours ago. Sorry about that, guys. Yeah, he says, I don't think the live stream is starting until another hour. Yeah. All right, let's scroll down to some that are a little bit more recent. Sorry about that, guys. Stevie76 says, yo, what's going on? Awesome. Sam Renlett said, yo, what's going on, guys? Just PR'd at the 10K, 47:10, fourth PR of the year so far. Hard work pays off. Great work, Sam. Awesome. It's fantastic. Good work. Jonna says, hi, everyone. I finally have time to stay for the entire live stream. Awesome. Good to see you again. And let's see. Ennis says, hi, Kofuzi and everybody. 4 mile run with Pip, then a sprint distance dry try indoors to get a workout in today. Can be all zone 2. That's right. That's right. Awesome. Good work. That's nice. All right. Sarah Mim says, hi, all. Even for short runs, taking my running water bottle with me. Atlanta has definitely warmed up with the daily outdoor temps. Yeah, I guess we're hitting that point of year where you're going to need some hydration for every run. Today, I went out with my running buddy. I went up towards his house. He usually comes down here so we can run by the lake. But I went up by him, and he took me up by some of the trails. And by trails, usually, that in Chicago, that, the pavement that I run along by the lake, they call that the lakefront trail. So, like, trails up here can mean a couple of things. But up by him, he runs it every day, and he knows a couple of places where you can kind of like, there's like a little beaten paths through the woods. And so he took me through some of those, and it was just really nice. It's like hard to envision that we were like still in like the city of Chicago, but a lot of fun. We did a little bit more than 10 miles, but by the time neither of us brought water. And by the time we were done, we were like, so thirsty. We're so thirsty. So definitely starting to get a little bit warm out there. And Atlanta, I can't imagine it's got to be so hot already. All right. Martha says, yo, what's going on? It's almost noon here in Baja California. It should be 2 p.m. Central. Ooh, yeah. Sorry. I threw a lot of people off. With the time today. Sorry about that, everybody. All right. All right. Stevie76 is chillaxing. David probably saying, good afternoon on hot chocolate 15K done this morning before it got too hot. Awesome. That's very cool. Very cool. I have my first race, as I mentioned already, tomorrow. First in-person race in 2021, and in also a very long time. So I'm pretty excited about it, but I'm also pretty tired. Like, I wish it would have been last week. That would have been perfect. Yeah, so far this week, I think I'm at like 58 miles of mileage for the week. And then I'll be running another 26 tomorrow. So that's a lot of miles. And then I'll have 13 days to kind of recover for the 50K up in eastern Iowa, northeast Iowa. But, tomorrow is going to be an easy, quote unquote, easy for run. I'm not going to run it hard, try to keep the heart rate low, which will be, I think, difficult because it's going to be hot It's gonna be warm, and I have a late start. So they're doing like the staggered start stuff, COVID rules type of start. So my time slot is 7:45 in the morning, and I have a 5-minute window to start, I think, and that's it. And so I'm going to be doing that. I did confirm that I'm allowed to bring a race vest, like a hydration vest. So it'll just be a dry run, a rehearsal, for the race coming up. I'm going to fill it up with as much liquid as I'll bring for the 50K, and bring as many gels as I would for a 50K as well, and see how it goes. We'll see. I think I've decided for the shoes. I think I'm going to go with the Fuel Cell TC. I was on the fence about it, but I was like, it's a soft shoe, but it's still got some carbon in there. So that'll help keep things at least a little interesting, even though I won't really be using a bunch of carbon for the kind of effort that I'll be putting in. And I wasn't sure. I was like, well, should I run in the Cliftons? Should I run in the DV8 Nitro? But then I just saw that there's a new color release, not a new version. It's not an update to the Fuel Cell TC, not yet. But a new color got released, I think, or at least the images started leaking out yesterday. So I was like, okay, that's a kind of a good confirmation. Let's hurry up and get some more miles in that shoe before the next one comes out. So that's what I'll be doing tomorrow. And yeah, I'm hoping that there'll still be like a race vibe, like it's going to be all the aid stations. There'll be like with the regular kind of like hydration tables, but everything's going to be like mini bottles of water and like that are sealed, and mini bottles of Gatorade and stuff. So I mean, it's just, I still think it's going to feel a little bit weird. And then basically it's like, park your car, just walk up to the start line at your allotted time, and then just start going, and then grab like your prepackaged medal and post-race snack, and then leave, So it's like, okay, all right. But, I think it'll be a good kind of, it'll be good. I think it's going to be very different when I get to that race in Iowa in a couple of weeks after that. I think it's just going to be like, it's just going to be full on regular racing, because Iowa has been in a hurry to be full on regular for a long time already. And I think they've lost patience at this point. So it's going to be, mission accomplished as far as like the race conditions are. But so like, it'll be like a nice way of me, like, dipping my toes back into the waters of kind of normalcy. All right. Martha just saying hi, everyone. Time for lunch here. And Shannon arrives around 2 Pacific time. Awesome. Cool. I can't wait to see that. That's going to be so fun. So fun. Awesome. And Frank Luhuler says, do you have a time that you're going to make sure you're going to stay slower than? I'm not going to worry about time, because I don't know if it's going to be hot. It's like super humid or windy, but I'm going to try to keep it under 145 beats per minute heart rate. So I'm just going to try to keep low heart rate the entire time. And whatever the time ends up being, it'll be, I think I'll be somewhere around 3:45. That's my anticipation for tomorrow. Maybe anywhere with 3:45 or maybe 4 hours for the marathon. So it'll be a good, like, a lot of time on feet, making sure like, the vest doesn't chafe after 3 hours or so. So, I think it'll be a good, and as was saying, it'll be a good try the loadout for the 50K. Yeah, I think so. Still not sure. I got one more pair of shoes in recently that I'm going to give a test to next week. See if maybe that might be the shoe that I wear for the 50K. So we'll see. But otherwise, I think I'm pretty dialed in. We'll just see how it goes. Anna says, wish you luck tomorrow. Thank you. Lots of people have been saying that. Thank you guys so much. I think it'll be, I'm hoping just to have fun. I just want to go out there, have fun. I wish I were starting like an hour earlier, but other than that, I think it's going to be good. Lauren Stan said, went for my Saturday 13-mile easy long run here in Houston, and everything was smooth for the first 5. Then came a heavy outpour of rain. Just spent the rest of the run trying to survive. Oh, man, those downpours are miserable, aren't they? Oof. Well, I'm glad you made it. You finished the run, though, right? You got the 13 in? Good work. Blake Schumacher says, is there a shoe that you keep coming back to even after a full review? No, not really, because usually I don't have space in the apartment for it, so I get rid of them. I'll donate them to charity. But yeah, like I just recently dropped off a bunch of racing shoes, and so like I'm sure like Goodwill is like, what am I supposed to do with these? Sorry, I'm a little bit dark. Let's get this brightened up a little bit there. But there's shoes that I'm like, I wish I still had that. So last year I kept saying that about the Nova Blast. Yeah, I think that was the only one that I was like, I should have held on to that. But I'm trying to think of what other ones. That was last year's. This year's, I'm not sure. I'm not sure which one that's going to be yet. There's nothing that I did just give away the Adios Pro, and I'm feeling like, I'm going to regret that later. But I still have so many good shoes. So there's still a lot out there, and I got a lot of miles to put in a lot of other shoes. So, even if it was my favorite for a long time, there's always other shoes, all right. Secret Elite says, are you going to try some different nutrition tomorrow as practice for 50K? Tailwind, real food? I'm on the fence about real food. I don't think I need, maybe I'm just like digging a hole by saying that I'm pretty sure I don't need real food for the 50K, but I don't know that I'll need real food for the 50K. I'll have some in my drop. I'll just put some granola bars or something in a drop bag. And I might just throw one in the pack if I'm struggling and I'm like walking downhill because something hurts, might be a good time to just like eat, like chomp on a granola bar, help kind of like reset everything. But I thinking that like I'm going to practice like at a lower heart rate, taking in a gel and sipping on sports drink, taking a gel every, 4 miles or so. See if that is the right amount for me, and so that's like the main thing. I'll have more gels than I've kind of been bringing because my longest runs have been a couple of 20 milers. So 26 is, that's another couple of gels, or at least one more gel. So I think it probably ends up going to be 2 more gels that I'll be bringing. So that'll be some of the stuff that I test. But overall, it'll be the same mixture. I'm going to start off with some of the UCAN and then a Univet Elite, like the 2 biggest, bulkiest ones first, and the ones that I feel like are going to like load me up and help me kind of like keep a slow, even burn. And then as we go subsequently, each one is going to be more like, I want more and more fast acting as we go. That's just kind of like the general thought. I'm a little bit worried, like, I don't know if I have enough salt along. So like, I don't know if I need to bring some salt tabs with me because it is going to be hot. It's going to be like 80 degrees by the time I'm done. So yeah, I don't know. Ooh, Benzinu says, my old race shoes helped me get a huge PR today. 40 seconds off my usual park run. Awesome. From, look at that. 1907 to 1826. Nice. That's real nice. Donald Beck says, awesome sauce and Coca-Cola are amazing. Yeah, I wonder if there will be soda. If there's soda like at the race, like at the 50K, I'll probably try downing. Although I haven't had I had bubble water. I had a LaCroix yesterday with dinner, and I was like, I haven't had one of these for a while. But I also had a beer later on last night too. So it's like not like I don't have carbonated beverages ever, but I just don't drink soda anymore. So like I'm sure like if I have one, I'll be like, wow, what is this? What's happening to my mouth? But I have a feeling that I'm going to be like the 50K. I'm definitely going to be like the new kid. For sure. I mean, I literally am the new kid, but I'm also just going to be like, I'll try that and then throw it up like 2 seconds later. Yeah. Yeah. It'll be fun. It'll be fun, but I won't be doing any of that for tomorrow, but yeah. Yeah. You know what? I wish I had probably thought ahead a little bit sooner. I guess there's time to still go to a running store today, but I know I'm not gonna, to pick up, I keep meaning to try Hammer Nutrition, but I always end up like forgetting. And I'm like, I'll just go to a running store and pick up a couple of things. And then I keep forgetting. It's something that I've been meaning to do. Maybe I'll do it next week when I'm like not really running as much. I might have some time to do that. Diego Dingal says, shoe giveaway. I mean, would people want a shoe that like has 100 miles in it? That's the thing. I'm not sure. I've thought about that, but it just seems weird. But it also seems weird, to give like a Meta Racer. Which I did, and I dropped off a pair of Meta Racers, Adios Pro. Trying to think of what other race shoes would have been in there at Goodwill, because it's not like they're comfortable for walking around in, so I don't know. Dominic Schrott says, is there a handbook or something similar about how to make good integral shoe reviews? I don't know what the word integral means in that question, but about a handbook. I mean, I don't know, the way my formula has kind of changed over time, a little bit. It kind of adapts as I do more of them. But I would say, think about, there's like, the way I started out thinking about it is, what's the information that I care about, and tell people that. And then I also think that the format matters. So if you're doing one on like in an Instagram post versus like a written up, like a write up, like a blog post, or a video, I think that all kind of matters too, in terms of like the order in which you put things. But think about the things that you want to talk about, but also I think part of that is think about the people that you want to watch it, right? And so like, is this a review for shoe nerds, or is this a review from someone that's saying like, I don't know, I want to have some background information before I go into the running store for the first time? So like, who are you talking to? Are you talking to a mom or a dad who doesn't know anything about running and maybe doesn't even care about running, but wants to help their kid buy their first pair of cross country shoe trainers? So like, think about who you're talking to. I think that's probably the most important thing. And then figure out what's the information that they absolutely need. Start it with that, and then keep it short. I'd say like, err heavily on the side of keeping it too short. But other than that, I don't know that there's a handbook. But the other thing I would recommend is watch a lot of other reviews too, not to copy, but to think about like, what are they doing that you like? What are they doing that you don't think is necessary? Try to get a feel for like, what's kind of like a pace and delivery that you think makes sense to you, and make it your own. So hopefully that helps a little bit. All right. Run for Fun says, during race, water or Gatorade? I like Gatorade because then you're getting a little bit of salt in there as well. I also just like sugar drinks when I'm running, I guess. So yeah, that's what I usually pick. Nolan Park says, Heiko, can you review the New Balance Morph version 3? I'm on the fence. If it had come out like 2 months ago, or even a month ago, I for sure would have gotten it, because I was testing out the 1080 and I was like, this 1080 is different. It's doing something else. And then I kept hearing about how like the New Balance More version 3 was what the 1080 kind of used to be. And so like, I was a little bit more interested in it then, but now I'm just like, do I need that? I'm starting to realize that I don't love max cushion shoes. And so I'm like, I don't know if I want it, so I'm not sure if I will. We'll see. I probably will, but I don't think I'm going to get it anytime soon. I'm afraid. Sorry. And it says, I think there's a real art in describing a running shoe. When I got my Carbon X2, I couldn't put into words how it felt. I just liked it. Yeah, I mean, I think though that like there's, but that's a great place to start, and then you think about, well, what is it that I like about it? What are some words? And that's why you always find like, there's certain words that like kind of don't make any sense, but do make sense, that get used frequently, because you're trying to explain these sensations in your feet with words, which is a kind of a weird thing if you think about it. And so you hear words like energy return, springiness, soft, cushioned, like there's all these like kind of words that kind of make sense, but like, you got to find the ones that kind of make sense to you. I think I equate it a lot to like when people, like, I basically think of it a lot like cooking shows too. Because you have to explain like what something tastes like and smells like as you're cooking, and so you're just trying to be descriptive and be really experiential and just be descriptive that way. I feel like a shoe review that wasn't really that like effective as like reviewing and evaluating a shoe could be horrible at that. But if it conveys like, this is what I felt during this run, even if it was in really ambiguous terms, like I just felt really great, but I felt like if it was more than just like, it was very, 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 very nice, as long as it's different than that, but it gave you like an authentic representation of like the sensations you were experiencing. It could be really bad at telling heel drop, materials, foam, stack heights. But if you convey the sensations well, I think that's what's really important, because that's what people are really looking for. People don't look at shoe reviews like they look at movie reviews. They're not, like, so it's a little bit different, they want to know what's it going to feel like, not like, tell me, does this deserve critical acclaim or not? So at least that's my take on it. I'm sure there's lots of people that would disagree a lot. All right. Secret Elite says, make sure you have good running socks, especially if you're going through any water. Tape feet or put some lubricant on feet to prevent blisters. Run or not for shoes to help on the downhill. I think that there is some water. I don't know how much. Well, I don't know what like the water levels are like over there, if there's been a lot of rain or not. See, this is where my mother-in-law, I gotta give her a call or something, ask her what the rain's been like. She always knows if there's been a lot of. Also, my brother-in-law does some farming too, so that's why he always knows about the rain levels. My other brother-in-law, he's also an outdoorsman and he kayaks a lot, so he always knows about the water levels. So I guess I have a lot of resources. I have no excuse, but I don't know what the water levels are like in I forget what river it is, but it goes through Decorah, Iowa. But I do think that there is a little bit of a creek crossing. So we'll have to see about that. I mean, I think, again, hopefully I'm not like digging myself a big hole here by saying it. I feel like I'm pretty good with wet feet, but wet feet on a hilly trail is not something I'm usually used to. So we'll see how it goes. Yeah, I'm concerned about the sock situation. It's another thing going in the drop bag socks. I need to make a list because I keep saying like, oh yeah, these things I'll definitely put in there. And I think I'm going to forget. All right. Angelo Stein says, hello, greetings from Hamburg, Germany. Kofuzi, what do you think about the Carbon CTM Ultra? Could that be your ultra marathon shoe? I really enjoy that shoe a lot. I just think it's a lot of fun. It's a weird, quirky shoe. And I think that if I were more experienced, I would be more inclined to tackle the 50K trail run that I have coming up in that shoe. But I worry that it's going to be too aggressive for me. And, I'm really just looking to finish this event, not try to like come in for a certain kind of time or really conquer the course or anything like that. So I think it's going to be a little bit too much for me. The other thing is that the heel on that shoe, it just tears up the skin on my Achilles. And so like, I just get such big, bad blisters from running in that shoe. So like, I think for a 50K might be hard. If this was like a trail, like a hill climb or even a hilly half marathon, then I think it would be perfect. Something where you're going all out uphill, all out downhill, like that is where I would really like it. Something either more technical or more or shorter. But I think for a 50K for someone of my kind of like trail running level of experience, which is, almost none, I think it's going to be a little bit more shoe than I need, or more shoe that I can handle, frankly. So. All right. Tayfun Arley says, hi, Kofuzi. Greetings from Turkey. Professional reviews, love them all. What's your favorite shoes when you run nowadays? Cheers, Typhoon. Typhoons. All right. Sorry, I pronounced it wrong at first. Typhoon. My favorite shoes right now are probably the Nova Blast. And I want to run more in the Metaspeed Sky because that one's really fun. So 2 Asics right now. So those are nice. I'm also really enjoying the Mach 4. So like there's a 3 that I would never have really thought would be, well, the Nova Blast 2, yeah, probably I would have anticipated, but like another, like a super shoe from Asics, I wouldn't have. That's a surprise. And a Mach 4, yeah, I wouldn't have thought them. I would have been like, maybe I would have like really liked the Clifton, and I do like the Clifton a lot, but I like the Mach 4 more by a lot. So those are some of the ones that I'm really enjoying right now. Yeah. Great question. All right, Saragon McKinney says, hi, Kofuzi. I have a Peg 38. Looking to add 2 more shoes for speedy work and half marathon race day. What about the Rincon and Adios Pro to complete the trio? I think that the Adios Pro is fantastic for that. I think the Rincon would also be really good, but I feel like there's not a huge amount of difference, at least in terms of the use case between like the Rincon and the Peg 38. The Rincon's going to be softer and I think a little bit faster of a shoe, so it could fit. But I might also look at, it depends on how much cushion you want underfoot. I feel like the Puma Liberate could be a real fun one to take the place of the Rincon, or the Hyperion Tempo. I think that those would be a really nice fit. Yeah, those are ones that I would also look at in that category. But I think that the Peg 38 and Rincon, I think, are a little bit too similar, but they make sense to me. I might also another one. I mean, this is a fun category, that Rincon category. The Endorphin Speed 2 just came out, but I was listening on the Drop today, the Believe in the Run podcast, and they were saying that they can't tell any difference between the Endorphin Speed 1 and the Endorphin Speed 2. So maybe just get a pair of the Endorphin Speed 1. And that would be a really nice trio. I think that would also be a really nice trio there. That would make a little bit more sense to me, but I don't think that you're going wrong with those shoes that you have listed. Matt, who says, I'm training for a half marathon with currently weekly mileage between 10 and 15. Are the 16 to 20 week plans enough training time, or is that too quick, injury prone? I think that'll be plenty of time for you to get ready. I think that, like, the way I see it for a lot of the races is that you can, I think once you get past, maybe a little bit more than the 15 mile per week point, then I think that, like, you can complete a lot of races. It's a matter of expectations, right? Making sure you're setting expectations appropriately. But yeah, I mean, a 20-week half marathon plan is a really long plan. And if you're doing that, I would imagine that a lot of the first 8 weeks are like working on building consistency. I'm hoping that there's a lot of easy miles in there, a lot of very specific rest days that are in there too, to kind of getting you ready to work for the last 12 weeks. So that's kind of what I would hope to see in a program like that. Yeah. So, I mean, I think that could definitely work, but yeah, I would say go for it. I mean, if you're giving yourself 16 to 20 weeks to train for a half marathon, you're giving yourself more than a lot of people do for their first half marathon. Well, I don't know if it's your first, but your next half marathon. So I think you're good, but I would probably prefer to see your mileage a little bit higher, just to make sure you're getting more consistency in there to help get you through those later miles. A lot of great questions today. Mr. Random says, hi, Kofuzi, what shoe are you still looking forward to reviewing? Yes, I know you love the Boston. That's probably top of my list, Boston 10. I mean, I'm surprised they're not going with something like a little bit ludicrous and calling it the Boston X. Because I mean, and who knows if they're not, but I just feel like, it's 2021. We can stop calling things X now when they're at number 10. But they're doing the Adios Pro 2 and then the Adios Pro. I don't know if it's 2X or the Pro X. There's like an X version coming in there somewhere. I'm not sure what the X means, if it's just more extreme, like more like crazy bouncy, or if it means it's for like cross country type terrain, if it's more of like not necessarily a trail shoe, but more of like a hilly terrain, like a grassy course type of shoe. I don't know what it is, but I've heard rumors about it and I've seen things about it. So I'm interested and curious about what that is. So if they made the Boston, like the Boston X, that would kind of like all line up a little bit, I guess. But yeah, those are probably the two that I'm looking forward to the most. And then I don't think it's gonna happen, but I have got fingers crossed for another turbo. I just want another turbo. I'm hoping that, like, if I'm not really expecting a lot from Nike this year, but like if they were to give us something that would really, surprise and delight, as they say in the product business, I would love to see an Epic React 3 and a Turbo 3. That yeah, that would make me happy. I don't think those are coming. I'm making it up, but like I would love to see that. I don't know if there's going to be a Hyperion Elite 3 this year. I have a feeling we might see one. I mean, Des Linden already ran in one. I don't know. I mean, it's listed as a prototype, I believe, but she already ran in it. So like, hopefully we'll see that. So that'll be interesting. But I mean, the Hyperion Elite 2 is good, but it's not like I can't wait for number 3. But what Adidas still has coming down the pike, I'm really excited for that. HSW says, are you still doing low heart rate running? Well, I'll be doing a low heart rate run tomorrow, a 26. I'm going to give you a heads up. The video is going to be called the Ultimate Maffetone Test. Although I believe Forrest Gearman already did that. He did it on a track. He ran 26 miles at low heart rate on a track. Incredible. But yeah, so that's kind of like the goal for tomorrow. So that's what we'll be doing. Yeah, it's not gonna be my fastest marathon, but it'll be interesting to see. The goal is to just get some miles in. Brian Young says, "Hi Kofuzi, been loving the Saucony Endorphin Speed. Do you have a recommendation for another similar versatile shoe? Looking to switch it up. Tried the Hoka Carbon X2 and it's a bit too stiff. I would look at the Boston 9 because that's still out, and the Hyperion Tempo. Those are just a lot of fun shoes. The other one, maybe the Razor. I don't know what variant they're on. 3Z plus, 3 plus. There's lots of different Razors that are out there. I think maybe the Razor XS might kind of fit in that category. So that might be kind of fun if you're looking for a similar shoe to the Endorphin Speed. Trying to think what else. I'm sure I'm missing a whole bunch that are out there that are similar, but those are the ones that are coming to mind right now. Tiberius 4 says, "Have you figured out how to engage your glutes yet?" Yes and no. I don't know what that means. If someone were like, "Oh, you're looking sloppy," like if I was like running around track and I had a coach that was like, "Oh, you're looking sloppy, engage the glutes," I'd be like, "I don't know what that means, coach." But like I have been working on just a lot of leg stability. Like I was telling my running buddy this morning, actually, while we're out there on the run, I've been thinking, because we hadn't seen each other for so long, and like, we're both of the type where like, we're not really doing Zoom calls, but so I was telling me, I'm like, oh, I totally forgot to tell you, I was hurt for like 2 months last year, and I was telling him how, I just thought that I was losing balance as just a part of, you get old and things don't work as well, and you're just losing balance. But I was like, I think as you're running higher mileage, some of those smaller muscles that you don't realize that you actually use when you're running a lot, start to get really taxed. And so you got to strengthen those. And I feel like focusing on that, like overall kind of like leg strength, mobility, and balance has helped. So I feel like that's all helping me to engage glutes as I run. But if someone were like, outside of someone yelling clench to me, I wouldn't really know what people are saying when they say engage the glutes. I have a couple of things that I do where I feel if I'm feeling like my glutes aren't feeling right, or if I feel like I'm really stiff, that I might do to switch up my gait a little bit momentarily. But I mean, there's a part of me that still has no idea what that means. Carlos Griego says, thinking of getting a GoPro to film my first marathon training and attempt. Is there a big difference between the 7, 8, and 9? I made a lot of videos about that. It's, I would say yes, but I would also say like there's a lot of really great price points that are out there. A lot of it comes down to the big improvements from 7. I think 7 to 8 is a huge improvement. 8 to 9 is a modest improvement, but a lot of it comes down to like stability, frame rates, and resolutions that you have available to you, which that's, I think, probably the biggest jump, I think, from 7 to 8. And then audio. So like the audio just gets, like GoPro is just way ahead of everyone else in terms of the audio you get in camera. And I think that's a highly underrated feature because most people, it doesn't matter. You're not really like most people aren't talking to their action cameras all the time like I do. So it makes sense that that's where a lot of other companies skimp or maybe don't have the ability to provide solid audio. But it depends on what your plans on with the camera. If it's your first, I started out with a refurbished GoPro Hero 3 Plus Black. And at the time, I think the GoPro Hero 5 was out or just about to come out. So like, I recommend get a cheap one. You won't know any better. Practice with it, beat it up. And then when you feel like you need to upgrade, then upgrade. So I don't think there are big differences, but it may not matter. All right. Sana in Mikla says, hey, finally made it to the stream. Hi. What's going on, Sana? Good to see you. Thanks for coming by. Albert L says, I just started running a month ago, but just suffered from peroneal tendonitis. Any tips to help recover? I don't know. I'm not familiar with that particular injury, I'm afraid. Sorry about that, Albert. Mr. Random says, I'm trying to figure out what mileage to start back at. I was up to 60 miles a week. Oh, and he's asking Innes, what does Coach Pitt think? Well, I won't answer that. That's not a question for me then, it seems. Tiberius Force says, there's not going to be a turbo because the foam split issue leads to a ton of returns. See, did it though? I'm not sure it really did. I mean, I made a video about it, and I don't get I finally like don't get pictures anymore. But like until last year, I was still getting like people would like DM me photos or send me pictures of like their turbos. But I think I had about 5 different pairs of turbos between the 1 and the 2 and Gakuso versions and shields. I never had the problem. So like, yeah, it was a weird thing, but you know, I mean, I'm running into issues with my Peg 38, or at least I think I might be. So, I mean, it's not impossible, but yeah. But we'll see. I just think that like, oh, you know what other shoe we haven't seen yet, which should be coming at some point, right? How come we haven't even seen leaks? Vomero 16. Where's that? See, I feel like there's Zoom X problems. I feel like they used all their Zoom X on the Invincible, and now the next percent too. Like, I just don't. I feel like Zoom X is still a foam that's difficult to work with at times. So I don't know that it's as simple as like the foam split issue is too hard to manage. I think it's like we gotta ration our Zoom X. It seems. But where's the Vomero? We didn't get the Vomero 15 in the US. People got it in the UK. I don't know where else people got it, but there was small numbers of Vomero 15s around, and then they were going to skip right over to Vomero 16 for the US. There's still the Vomero 14 is still for sale on the Nike website. I just saw it the other day. Pretty good price for it too. Anudi Torres says, can you make a training plan for running? A video about it? I've made a couple of videos about the training plans that I put together and how I kind of figure it out. I think I did it for Houston. So if you look at like Houston Marathon Training, Kofuzi Houston Marathon Training Plan, you might be able to find it that way. But I mean, it, you know, like, I think a good place to start if you don't know how to make a training plan or don't know about training plans is to find a free one online and look, and like, if you've never done a training plan before, if you don't know how to tweak it, find a training plan online and use it. I recommend Hal Higdon. He does them for free. Ones that you can purchase. I haven't reviewed them personally, but I know, like, for example, like Ben Parks makes them. Sage and Sandy, they write training plans for people to purchase as well. So those are different options. But I would start there. And then for me, what I would used to do is I would start there and look at the workouts. Look at the workouts first, and then kind of like backfill in depending on what your mileage needs to be. Lately, I've been using a lot of Jack Daniel's running formula. I think I'm on a volume. I think I'm at like the 3rd edition. And I really like the workouts in that book, but the marathon training seems a little bit, I'm not sure that I love it. I haven't used it for marathon training yet. So that's another option, is to buy a book. There's Jack Daniels, there's Fitzinger's Advanced Marathoning, which is also a book. I've used that program before. I think, well, I don't know that I used it, but I've had that book for a while. So those are 2 to look at as well, as far as like coming up with like a race plan. And you know what the race plan looks like depends on the runner. I like a short training block. Other people like for me, I would never do a 16 or 20 week block. For some people, they love it. You know, I don't think it's a matter about a level of experience. It's about like how do people like to train for it, and I don't like them that long. So, and then it also depends on the distances. So, you know, it's kind of it takes a little bit. So there's a lot to potentially talk about. It would make for a bit of an unwieldy video. But if you have any like specific questions, that might help me. All right. I got a couple of questions here. Sorry. Stevie76 says YouTube pushed your 2017 video of you taking your kids to McDonald's. Pretty random. Yeah, I think YouTube has been pushing some random stuff. I think like the algorithm is like, all right, time to do a churn. Let's like scoop the bottom of this big jar of almond butter and see what we got. You know, I think that's what it's doing. So people, I've been seeing like comments coming up on old videos lately. But yeah, it's funny. Yeah, Angela Stein says, hello, Kofuzi, one more question. Do you think that racing flats like the Takumi-san, Adios 5, Adios RC, please try this one, still have their place in road races? I always get shin splints in carbon shoe. I think that they do, but for shorter ones. You know, I wouldn't want to, I just don't think that anymore. I would want to race like a 10K or longer in something that's super flat. Like even the Adios 5, although the Adios 5 is supposed to get a major remake or revamp. I don't want to say revamp because vamp means something, but you can choose. But supposed to get a major redesign, so that'd be interesting. But like, yeah, I mean, I think that they definitely still do. But what's wrong? The dog just screamed. That was the dog, buddy. He's been doing that. I don't know. He just yelps, and when you look over at him, he's just chilling. I don't get it. Random phantom pains, I guess. But yeah, I still think they have their place. There's certain people that prefer them. I mean, and there's certain shoes that are coming out now that I think kind of live in that space that are pretty exciting. Like the Liberate from Puma. That's a pretty fun shoe. It's low to the ground, definitely feeling the ground, but that foam is nice. So there's certainly a place for it. Drew Reed said, Kofuzi, you talked about how to deal with long hair. Are you considering chopping it all off? I'm getting so sick of long hair and thinking of it. The expelling of heat is so much easier without hair. Yeah, I was thinking about getting a haircut today because I was getting hot and it's getting long back here, you know, and it's longer than it needs to be to get it up into like a ponytail for running. So I'm thinking like, but it'd be really weird. I feel like if I were to go to like the barber shop right now and be like, yeah, just give me like an inch off the ends. I think it'd be like, really, you sure? I'd be like, yeah. So I think I'm just going to keep growing it out for a little while longer. But I don't know. Like once we hit like July, I'm not sure if it's going to stick around. We'll see. Shades of Horror says, my little sister is getting into track. Do you have any recommendations for running shoes / track shoes? She's a freshman in high school, by the way. Yeah, I mean, if she's racing, depending on what she's racing, she might need a pair of racing spikes, you know, so that's there's not usually a ton of different options out there. So, and I mean, I guess I can't really say they're all pretty similar anymore these days, but they used to be all kind of pretty similar. But I would say it depends on kind of like what she's normally doing. If she's on the track, I would say you would want something a little bit lower to the ground because, if you're hitting turns on the track and also running on the track, it's a softer material. So you don't need like a thick cushion. But if she's doing like 3,200, doing a 2 mile, and she's doing a lot of, maybe warming up around the track, but then hitting the roads to go on her longer runs for practice, then you're going to want something more like a Nova Blast, like something in the daily trainer category. Like the Mach 4 and the Nova Blast are probably the two that I would look at the most. But if she wants something a little bit faster, I like shoes like the Hyperion Tempo. That's what I got from my nephew. He's been running like 800s and 400s, I think. Yeah. He's a big kid, but they got him in some of these distance or middle distance races. So it's been pretty interesting. But so that's another one that the Hyperion Tempo is one that I like, because then you could use that on pretty much everything at the high school level, I think. So. All right, Joe H says, Kofuzi, I have a track league final soon, and I'm really scared. Do you have any advice on a fast mile? Yeah. I mean, I'm not that good at fast miles, so, I have lots of ideas on it, but I think it depends on what your strengths are. If you think, for me, I was just trying to hit a good time. So like the other racers were interesting, it was like an interesting coincidence for me when I raced the mile, if other racers were on the track too, but it's not like I was never good enough to be like, can I cover this move or no? So I was never like that. So if you're nervous, think about the fact that everyone else out there is going to be nervous too. So it's totally cool to be nervous, and let the nervousness help fuel you a little bit. The other thing to think about is, if you really want to get out there, and give it your all. Just find someone else and stay on their shoulder. I mean, don't run in lane 2. Don't be silly, but just like look at the person in front of you and focus on that, and don't worry about the time and just go. Right? Let the pack carry you. So that's another way to do it. And then, whatever you got left at the end, come around that final turn and give it everything. So those are some things to think about. But, being nervous is good. It'll help you get amped up for the race. Don't go out too fast. It's a long race. So there you go. Let us know how it goes, Joey. We always love to know how it goes. Stevie 76 says, couch the marathon training plan, show up to the race and just wing it. I mean, that's kind of what I did for my first marathon. I mean, I used a Hal Higdon plan, but I didn't really follow it to the letter. So there's that. All right, we got Ed Bud in here. Just hope you're all having a good weekend. Kofuzi is my TV. What's going on, Ed? How are you? Good to see you in here. All right. Secretly says strength running has some absolute fantastic videos on building running plans. Highly recommend them. Yeah, that's a good point. I've been listening to a lot and watching a lot of strength running. Jason Fitzgerald, right? Lots of good content. You know what I've been liking? He's been normally he talks in like his office, and he's just like a talking head, kind of like these live streams are. But lately he's been like talking while he's out going for an easy run. I like that. I like that so much. I like that one so much. All right. Let's see what else we got here. Another vote for Jason Fitzgerald. Yeah, he's real good. Although, I've never to put it out there though, I've never looked at any of his training plans, so I don't know like if I would like agree with them or not. But he knows what he's doing. That's for sure. Christian says, Dire Straits' or latest trick, vibrating the apartment walls, could be the post 50K victory song. I don't think I've ever heard that song before. If I have, I don't know. I'm not good with songs like I've never heard Dire Straits before. Yeah, I don't know. Sometimes in certain genres, I have a really wide depth, but there's definitely blind spots in my music appreciation. I don't really want me to do the pigtails. I don't know. I think I could do them, but I don't know. In the long says Kofuzi rock a mullet. I would. I've wanted a mohawk for the longest time, and I was thinking like maybe I'll do the mohawk this summer. But I just feel like I don't know. Bill Yang already rocks the mohawk, so I just feel like I can't do that now. He's already taken it. I feel like it preempts the rest of the field of Asian running filmmaker, YouTubers, whatever you want to call us. So I feel like that's out. So I got to do this. I did notice yesterday though, and I think I follow that guy, a different guy on Strava, but in the mile yesterday with Chavez versus Gladwell, there was another Asian man. There was an Asian man in the race. Yeah. Yeah, and he had a nice ponytail. So I was like, I appreciate the fact that there's an Asian man with a ponytail running in this race as well. And I like the fact that Gladwell came out in compression socks. I thought that was a really funny choice. I thought it was amazing. They were giving him a hard time in the broadcast booth about his compression socks, but I'm like, I could see it. I think it's a good look. I thought he looked great out there. But yeah. But a mullet, I don't know if I could do the mullet. If I were to do a mullet though, I would definitely get some stripes, shaved into the side. I wanted to do that I remember wanting to do that when I was like in the 3rd grade. And my dad put a hard no on that, or real hard. He's like, you are not doing that. And I'm like, and like a couple other friends like on my like little league team, but Joey did it. And this other person did it. And he's like, you're not doing it. I was like, come on. But anyway. Dr. Funk says, I ran track spikes for the first time today on a track. Talk about incredible grip and being able to go fast. Yeah, I still haven't put on spikes in a long time. I'm not that interested in it. Mainly because I don't want to have to do the kind of work that putting on track spikes implies. I just don't like that kind of chest burn. I fear that kind of work, I would say. Edbud says, Mike, I saw a video where someone found P-backs inside the craft shoes, the CTM Ultra. Is it the same in the carbon one you had? I'm not sure. I have to double check what the material was in there. Is it P-backs? I don't remember. But I'll have to take a look at that craft CTM Ultra again. I'm thinking about, Ed, I was thinking about you the other day because I was thinking about that CTM Ultra. And I was thinking like, you know, the Achilles part is bothering me. It keeps chafing. Maybe I'll just cut it or shave it off a little bit. I was like, that's an Ed Bud move. It'd be an Ed Bud special. But I don't have confidence in my skills. I would end up with like a you know, like when people take their regular shoes and like cut out the heel and they have like a slipper. Like I would end up with that on accident is what I feel like would happen. All right, let's get a couple more and then I got to get going for today. Recycle on Wednesday says the heat feels way worse without my hair. It was waist length and now it's 3/4 of an inch. Whoa, that's quite a difference. Whoa. All right. Martha's giving us the update. She says Shannon's on a shuttle, probably near the border. I'll wait for her to arrive in about 30 minutes. Very cool. Very cool. Well, hopefully she gets there soon. Oh, Will Willing says, my grandson really likes the SL20 for the track. That would be a good choice. Or some of those race flats that someone mentioned earlier. Those would all also be pretty good choices for the track too. Like the Adios 5, I think is great there. I haven't tried any of the other ones like the Takumi Sen or the RC 2.0. I haven't tried those, but I think those would be real nice. Same with like is it Liberty? Liberate, right? The Puma, the fast one. Dr. Fong says, channel your inner Malcolm Gladwell and put on some spikes. That'd be funny. Edbud says, I had a dream the other night. I was running on the track in spikes and I don't own any spikes. Well, I mean, I feel like, you know, they're calling to you. You know, the shoes are, which spikes were they? Do you remember? Was it that specific? I feel like you should get some now. BINF says, have you tried the Puma Velocity? Is that the Daily Trainer one? I haven't tried that one. I've tried the Liberate, the Speed Day one, and then the Velocity. No. Which ones have I tried? I tried the Long Run Trainer with the carbon plate, and then the Speedy one. The names, they make no sense to me. I can't remember them. I don't know why. I'm having a hard time with them. But those are the two that I've tried. I'd like to try the other one with the carbon fiber plate. I think that one could be interesting. I don't know that careful with that slime. You're going to get it in your hair. She's making slime and then she's like touching her hair. I don't think she can hear me. She got headphones on. She can't hear me. But yeah. We'll see if I get to those this year. I'm not sure. Dr. Joe saying marketing campaign for spikes getting into people's dreams. Yeah. It's like it's Inception. All right. I think it's a good place to leave it for today, everybody. Tomorrow, there's not going to be a video, and I'm not going to really be I'm not going to do a live stream tomorrow. I think I'll be fine after the marathon, but probably no a live stream tomorrow. Take the day off after the marathon in the morning. So I will see you guys on Monday. Monday's video will be about the marathon that I run tomorrow. We'll see how weird it is or it isn't. You know, I'm not sure exactly. I know what the protocols are supposed to be, but like given the way things are changing, maybe they'll loosen up and it'll just be different. I'm not sure, but we'll see. We'll see. And that'll be the video on Monday. And then the next time I see you guys live stream will be Monday Mukbang. And that'll be back at the normal weekday time at 1 p.m. So have a good weekend, everybody. And until I see you guys again, be safe out there. Thanks.